Hello everyone, today we're going to fly from Mauritius Island to Réunion Island in the Indian Ocean. And we are going to be Corsair 711 in a Boeing 747. So yeah, let's fire up the plane. Let's connect the external power. And already the APU is going to be started. Battery on. So we are at Plaisance International Airport in Mauritius, which is Foxtrot India Mike Papa. We are flying to Foxtrot Mike Echo Echo, which is the code for Roland Garros Airport in Saint Denis, Réunion Island. Today we are expecting for our departure in Mauritius, runway 14. We are Corsair 711. And we are expecting for our standard instrument departure route to go out via SOBAT 2 Alpha. The route to Réunion Island from Mauritius is really easy. The mandatory route is always via the waypoint SOBAT. So it's actually just SOBAT, and then again there is a standard arrival into Réunion Island, which is gonna be SOBAT 1 Romeo today, and the approach is going to be ILS Uniform 14 via takeoff. So let's activate that. Let's get rid of the route discontinuity. It's looking good. At takeoff I want to be 118 knots fast and at 3000 feet. The next waypoint also 3000 feet. This is already on the ILS. And then I want to be at 160 knots at on the ILS when I intercept the ILS at Réunion Island. So that's okay. Our cruise level today is 18,000 feet, sorry. It's not very high, it's a very short flight, so I'm expecting a flight time of 35 or 40 minutes between the two islands. Cost index maximum. Yeah, today we have a gross weight of 648.9 pounds. Yeah, we don't need that much thrust to take up because with such a short flight we don't have much fuel. We have nearly. We have only 1/4 of fuel in the tanks for that very short flight, so we will have enough fuel to go to our alternate, which will be Antananarivo in Madagascar. Otherwise, we will just return back to Plaisance at Mauritius if anything should occur. Let's check the weather. It's 26 degrees currently. I want to take off with a flap setting of 20. Center of gravity today is 14%, which we have a trim setting to set at 7.6. So let's set that. Currently trim 7.6, so it's in the green margin. Okay. Let's set the air pressure. Current air pressure we have set here as well. I'm already putting the runway heading after takeoff, which is 136 degrees here. Probably align our nav equipment. We'll already put the power, or switch the power over from the APU to our aircraft. Let's already start the fuel pumps. Takeoff speed is going to be V1 138 knots, V rotate at 140 knots, V2 156 knots. First temperature 26 degrees. Still need to tell our plane our position. Okay, this is operational now. Beautiful Boeing 747. Okay, our starting speed, I want to be after takeoff at 200 knots. Currently have no air traffic controller online here on the IVAO flightsim network, so our initial climb altitude will already be our cruise level, which is 18,000 feet. Okay, I haven't flown the 747 for quite a while, so bear with me if I'm taking a while to fire it up, even if it's all the standard Microsoft Flight Sim Tour 2020 Boeing 747, but yeah. So, nav lights on, logo lights on, window heat on. Outer hydraulics on. Let's see which of the buttons are actually working here. This is by far no PMDG 747 quality, but it's something. Okay, we set flaps 20. Okay, 3 engines stable, and the number 1 engine, the 4th one, jump starting, is coming alive. forgot to give it fuel. Probably gonna be a hot start. No. Okay. Stabilizing 2. Okay. Let's start a pushback. Crash into the terminal. Okay, let's wait for the tow truck to get away. There it is going. So I will be ready to taxi soon. Okay, let's start our taxi to runway 14. We're taking taxiway November in Foxtrot. We are taxiing to a holding point Alpha. So we are at the end of taxiway November. We have Foxtrot ahead, and then we have Bravo and Alpha just ahead. We will take Alpha and then backtrack runway 14 to line up. So yeah, just for you to see where we actually are. So here's Africa, here's Madagascar, and we are here on Mauritius Island. And we are going to fly to Réunion Island. We are Corsair 711 in a Boeing 747. Our planned cruise altitude is flight level 180, 1800 feet. 18,000, sorry. Our desired cruise speed over ground is 430 knots. Planned departure time is 7:05 Zulu. We have already quite a little bit of delay, as you see. And our estimated elapsed time is gonna be 45 minutes, probably a little bit shorter. Here's our route. As I said, we are going out via the SOBAT 2 Alpha standard departure route to the waypoint SOBAT, which is kind of here, and then already enter the standard arrival route at Réunion Island, which is SOBAT 1 Romeo. So, to show you that a little bit better, we are at the Mauritius airport. We were standing at gate 9, I think, and we're pushing back. And then I think it was gate 8, pushing back on November, and then via Foxtrot we taxied to holding point Alpha, where we are standing right now, where we are holding right now. So here you have the airport, Mauritius Airport, in an overview, and we are standing here now. We are going to backtrack runway 14 do a 180 at the end, and then take off in this direction via our standard departure route, which is SOBAT 2 Alpha. So you see we take off here, after waypoint Epnis, which we should pass at a maximum speed of 210 knots. We turn right, continue climb until waypoint Mike Papa 211, and at Mike Papa 211 we should not be higher than flight level 100, which is 10,000 feet. And we continue our climb until flight level 180, 18,000 feet. Yeah, and then the entire standard departure route goes until SOBAT, and you can see this is here, which is actually at the borderline between Mauritius airspace and Réunion Island airspace, which is at our altitude which we will be cruising at. It is going to be, first it is Mauritius Tower, then we switch over to departure, Mauritius departure or Mauritius approach, which is kind of the same on our network. And then as we climb higher, we still stay with Mauritius departure or Mauritius approach, because in his airspace, which you can see here, he has a responsibility until flight level 245. Everything which goes higher goes over to Mauritius Center, which will not be a factor for us because we are not cruising as high today. So once we arrive at SOBAT, we should switch over and contact Roland Garros approach, which is this airspace, and he has a quite high TMA, or terminal arrival area, because he actually has a responsibility up to, I think, flight level 400, and everything behind, everything outside of that is this large center, which is having the responsibility for higher flights, or flights which leave Roland Garros approach, and so on. Yeah, via SOBAT we then enter the standard arrival road of Roland Garros Airport, and this is gonna be the SOBAT. Where is it? Here. The SOBAT 1 Romeo arrival. So we arrive at SOBAT and then we start our descent via the star to be at 3,000 feet at the latest at TSOP. And this is also an initial approach fix for ILS. This is uniform approach runway 14. So yeah, that's basically it. The approach will be this one. We come here until TSOP, and then we will intercept the localizer and intercept also the glide slope and come into runway 14, which we are expecting today. Transition altitude at Roland Garros Airport 12,000 feet. Transition level is usually flight level 130. And the airport elevation is directly at the coastline, so nearly sea level. So yeah, that's about it. Checking one last time if we have traffic. We don't currently, so can line up on our own discretion, because there's no controller currently online we have to contact. Okay, let's already switch our transponder on. I didn't forget anything. Flight director on, auto thrust on. Ready for takeoff. Lights are all on, transponder on. Cross check 80. E1
V1
rotate 2 positive rate, gear up. Flaps 10. Flaps 5. Passing waypoint Epnes now, so we start our right turn. Continue our climb to currently 10,000, flight level 100. Flaps 1. And flaps up. Okay, at 10,000 feet we can turn the lights back off. And also tell the passengers to release their seatbelts, as we are not expecting any turbulence. Okay, we have an altitude restriction here on the SID, on the departure, which is 10,000 feet, so we should now level off and wait until we pass that restriction point. Which is now the case. We are now passing the waypoint, so we can continue our climb now to flight level 180. Okay, we switch to standard pressure, as we have already way past our transition level or altitude. Pressure is set to standard. Here we will set it to standard too. Okay, we have reached our cruising level of today only 18,000 feet. So you see, we took off here. So, route we currently did. On our way to Réunion Island. Still have the APU running, so I can turn that off. Forgot to turn it off. So here you see again our artificial horizon. You see our current altitude. Here you see the altitude is trying to maintain. Our speed in our indicated airspeed in knots. Here's our ground speed in relation to the ground for 120 knots. Here's our true airspeed. 436 knots, and the ground speed is the result of true airspeed in combination with our current winds. And as you see, we are currently facing a headwind of 16 knots, which is coming out of 286 degrees, so from the front. Here again you see our plane, the little triangle, and the magenta line is our course. We are trying to maintain, well, the autopilot is trying to maintain currently. Enlarge the range a little bit so you see a little bit better. I'm struggling with the controls, sorry. So folks, okay, here. Not with the plane controls, but with the controls of the simulator with my keyboard settings, you know, keyboard buttons and shortcuts. So here you see it again, we are currently inbound SOBAT. We still have 30 miles to go until SOBAT, the waypoint here. And we are estimating to arrive there at 0747 Zulu standard time, which is Greenwich time or London time. And this is our current time. So as you see, in 4 minutes we arrive at SOBAT. And here you see again, this is a green dot, which is indicating T/D is our top of descent, which means here we should start to initiate our descent, which I will do there, and then we should start descending to 3,000 feet to be leveled over TESO. As you can see, we can already see Réunion Island in the far distance. In the south of the island there's Piéton de la Neige, which is a volcano, which is active actually. So every now and then it erupts, and then it makes the island a little bit larger. In that area there's not many people living, so it's not really a problem. But it's always spectacular to see if it's erupting. Réunion Island is actually a very nice island, which is one of my favorite places in the world. Not only to fly here, but also in reality. Nice people, nice food, good music, really cool place. And it actually has quite a lot of mountains, which are pretty high. So minimum safe altitude to fly over it is sometimes like 12,000 feet or something, so pretty high mountains. Which are really beautiful to see and also awesome to hike, for hiking. Lots of lakes, over 3,000 lakes on Réunion Island, which you can swim in. And there's even some sandy beach at the western coast at Saint Gilles. Is it Saint Gilles? Don't let me. But usually you don't find sandy beaches there, you know. It's a wild and volcanic island, so you have rocky beaches, but it's nice. So if you wonder why is this guy flying with a 747 and it's such a short flight, it's not realistic at all. Well, actually, it was realistic before Corsair fleeted out their 747, and it was one of the flights which were actually taking place, which is a nice racing route here. If you like to fly big aircraft on very short hops, because Mauritius is doing daily scheduled flights between those two islands in an A330, in an ATR, and also in an A350. Okay, we are passing SOBAT now. Usually we should have contacted Roland Garros approach now, but as he's not online, we will again continue on our discretion and enter the standard arrival route, and also start our descent now, or initiate it, because we're arriving to top of descent. Sorry for the confusing views again. So what was I talking about? Which real flights do actually take place here? Air Mauritius I've already mentioned. Corsair sometimes, when they Corsair is serving Réunion Island and Mauritius Island anyways, you know. But sometimes they also do stepovers, so between those islands, in an A330. Used to do it in the 747. Unfortunately, it's outdated now. It's one of my favorite flights when flying in Reunion, or to Reunion in reality. As a passenger, Corsair 747 flight was the plane I was actually taking to go there. So amazing, wonderful. I quite missed that plane. I wish they didn't fleet it out yet. So, but yeah. Due to the lack of PMDG 747 on MSF 2020, as you see, I'm flying the 747-8 with a Corsair livery, which is kind of semi-fictional, of course, but yeah, it was the very livery which was actually flying here in reality on the 747-400. So, but most of you Réunion Island experts will actually know that yourself. I'm just talking for the people who are not so familiar with the place here. So if ever you happen to fly here on the flightsim network, on IVAO or flightsim, you gotta know, in reality there's procedural control, okay? So in reality you don't get radar vectors here neither. You will just get procedural control and get clearances, and you have to give them your estimates and everything. But people who fly a lot in Africa, they should be familiar with that anyways. It's not really easy to show that now because there's no ATC online. I wish there was. Then you would know what I was talking about. But anyways, we're approaching transition level now, which is flight level 130, so we switch back to local air pressure. Already descending. So just to explain you a little bit, here you can see the city of Saint Benoit, Saint André. It's also not far away. Those little villages here. Is Saint Suzanne, where I've actually lived myself a while. In the sugarcane fields. Lovely. And here is coming up the capital, which is Saint Denis city, which is the biggest city on the entire island, which is the capital, and which is also where the airport is. The airport is actually here, you can see it. Well, maybe you can't, but I know it is there. So we will just fly by, make a turn, come back to establish on the ILS 14. There are those beautiful high mountains here. Behind that is Cirque de Mafat, and a little bit more in the south you will be at Cirque de Silaus. Beautiful places, wonderful. It's spectacular to hike there, or also to take a helicopter tour. Sorry if I'm advertising so much about Réunion Island, but it's true, okay? You won't regret going there, at least once in your life. If you want to go there, you gotta go via Paris, okay? Because direct flights will all go from Paris, Orly. Or you have to make a stopover or layover at Mauritius Island and then fly there. Well, you can of course make a layover at Madagascar too, it's as you prefer. But if you want to fly directly, you have to go via Paris, as it's French territory. Which is funny because it's like 12,000 kilometers away. In the Indian Ocean, most people don't even know about it. Well, you miss something if you don't. So we already passed the airport now. Here you see it. All this is Saint Denis city. Here is the city center, where the market is and everything, most of the shops. McDonald's is kinda here. Yeah, for those who don't care. And then here, if you leave Saint Denis via the north east, you have the highway or the freeway going around at the coastline. Okay, I shouldn't be watching the landscape so much. I should a little bit focus on cockpit. So yeah, let's go flaps 5. The range. Yeah, we're already passing Ok now, nearly in Tesop, which means we are already nearly at our initial approach fix. We're slowing down to 180 knots now. So I go flaps 10 and flaps 20. And the Indian Ocean you can also see. Well, it's spectacular for diving, spectacular. Everything is spectacular. You can even see dolphins and everything. But there are sharks too. So if you want to surf, don't go surf during thunderstorms, because when there's thunderstorms or when it's windy, the sharks like to come, okay? And they like to come close to the coast. Okay, last turn now. And I go flaps 30. And gear down.
Here. Landing 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 here.
Okay, as you see here, the localizer is at our left, catching it now, and also the glide slope is nearly captured now. So you see already the runway. We are quite lined up with the runway 14 now. In the far distance you see it here. We will reduce our speed to approach speed now. It should be 47, I think. Let's verify again. Yeah, 148. So there we are coming. Actually, what you see here is in the north of the island, in the northeast, which is Le Port.
2500.
Which is where all the cargo ships are. Yeah, as I told you, the freeway is going right around the coastline. See pretty steep cliffs here. It's quite impressive if you drive around the freeway. Okay, so here are already the beginnings of Saint Denis city, which is the capital, as I told you. Here, as I told you, you see the freeway, the highway. Yeah, and if you drive a little bit higher from Saint Denis city, you will go up to La Possession, which you can see here. It's also a nice place to live. With a nice overview over Saint Denis capital city, and you always see the planes coming in, because they usually land at runway 14. So yeah, you always have a nice sight of all those big airliners coming in here. Here's the main bus station, by the way. And here's the marketplace. No, we're pretty close to the airport. It's a little bit windy today, huh? At least I see there's some waves in the ocean. Let's turn this off.
400.
Turn it off. Message.
300.
Menu. Usually we would have to get
200.
landing clearance and all from Roland Cross Tower, but as no one is online again, we go on our discretion.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay, should have flared a little bit earlier. Saint Denis at Ile de la Réunion. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you had a nice flight with Corsair International. Okay, flaps up. Okay, indicating runway 14 or 32 now via Alpha. And if gate 5 is free, we'll take gate 5. Otherwise 4 or 3. Let's see what is available. Transponder off. Standby. Okay. Ground chart. So we came in here, runway 14, which is used for landings preferably. Runway 12 is used for departures preferably. Landed here, did a 180 at the end, backtracked, and vacated via Alpha. Then we are taxiing here via Alpha, here until the main terminal. Let's see if we take gate 6 or 5 or 4. So if anyone is wondering what scenery I'm using, it's freeverse scenery from flightsim.to. where where I also downloaded the livery, by the way, for the Asobo Boeing 747-8. I think so, at least. Yes. So this is the home airport of carrier Air Austral. We just passed by their main hangar. And they have a quite interesting fleet. They have one Boeing 737-8 remaining. They used to have ATRs. They still have 3 777s-300 ER. And they have 2 Dreamliners too, which are actually two of the ugly or the dirty ones, which Boeing produced at the very beginning, which are still heavier with bigger batteries and all. So they have actually the problem. They wanted to use them non-stop for flights to actually Mayotte, to Jersey, to Mauritius Island. But as they are too heavy for the short runway to take off again, they cannot take off with full fuel, which Air Austral they didn't actually plan this, so now they always have to do layover in Nairobi if they fly back from Mauritius Island to Paris Orly, which isn't really ideal, but okay, at least they have Dreamliners. So actually there you see one of Air Austral's Dreamliner standing over there in the background. So they will park next to our French which are also offering direct flights from Paris. Besides Cross-Air and besides Air France. Probably are thinking, is he drunk or something? What's he doing? Well, I just want to be on the center line. And that happens if you talk too much, right? I can't talk and focus. But I don't want to be always quiet for those videos. If there's no ATC, at least let's talk a little bit freely. I'm probably talking some nonsense too, but don't be too harsh with me in the comments. I forgot to turn on the APU, shame on me. But we have exterior power anyways already available. So it should be fine to get the engines off now. So, bienvenue à la Réunion. I hope you enjoyed this little video. So yeah, what I forgot to tell you, I told you about the scheduled flights between Mauritius and Réunion Island. So as Air Austral, which airline ICAO code, Romeo Echo Uniform, is actually the home carrier in Réunion Island Airport, or Roland Airport. So with their fleet of 777s, 787s, and also 1738. Oh, and I forgot about the 3 Airbus 220, which they always have now, which I also have now. It's quite an interesting fleet to fly between those islands, because there are scheduled flights, several daily scheduled flights between Réunion Island and Mauritius every day. So if ever you wanna test out your aircraft and find some new very, very friendly ATC and fly here, because it's a short flight, consider that the compulsory route between Foxtrot India Mike Papa and Foxtrot Mike Echo Echo is always via waypoint Sierra Oscar Bravo Alpha Tango, and at even flight level, cruise level, something around flight level 160 or flight level 180 or flight level 200. And if you go the other way around, mandatory route between Foxtrot Mike Echo Echo and Foxtrot India Mike Papa Airport is always via IFR, at least if it's IFR flights, via waypoint Echo Papa Tango Echo Kilo EPTEC. Okay, so that's everything you need to consider here. Then the controller will be super happy. And for the flight between Réunion Island and Plaisance, of course you will need an odd flight level 15 or 17 or 190, something like that, for the IFR flights. But you guys know that everything anyways. But for the compulsory routes you maybe didn't know. But if you have the latest charts, then you should be fine anyways. So, wish you guys all a nice day. Thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.